And my wife is upset and she's making my life difficult, so I had to make this video, okay? Football is an imperfect game. As a matter of fact, many people will call the basic ebbs and flows of a game the perfect imperfection. Quote unquote, bang bang plays happen all the time. Penalties that you could let slide or they could be called. Plays that are so close that you couldn't fault a human for seeing it really either way. I mean, things are happening at such an unbelievable pace, it could be easy for an official to miss it. In this year's NFC Championship game, true enough, there were tons of missed calls that went against each team, just like there is in every game. But none more blatant and impactful than the missed pass interference call at the end of the game. This was a play where there was an obvious pass interference and an obvious helmet to helmet, either of which could have been called. It happened right in front of the referee and he still doesn't make the call. Now this has sparked a ton of controversy. You got fans trying to sue, politicians calling out the NFL, and some people even saying that the game should be replayed. These are things that I can never remember being seriously considered, but here we are. There's tons of reporters out there calling the refs either liars, cheaters, or at the very least, homers. And I just had to dig into the situation just a little bit, take a look at some of the accusations and talk about what's true and what isn't true, what's likely and what's not likely. And I only know how to do it my way. So let's get it. Cue the Wayne.
Yeah, you'll never no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get her.
The first ever interactive video game was played in the early 1960s. Now that's a long time ago and a super random fact. But you know what else happened in the early 1960s? Referee Bill Vinovich was born. Now Bill Vinovich was the head referee in this year's NFC Championship game. Bill was born in Pennsylvania but moved as a kid to California where he stayed, grew up, lived, went to college, found love, all of that. Bill is a Cali guy. He actually played football at the University of San Diego until 1983 when he graduated with a bachelor's degree in accounting. Now, Bill comes from a long line of refs. His dad was a ref. His dad's dad was a ref. This is what they do. If you ever make a mistake around Bill or his family, they will blow the whistle or throw the flag most of the time, so be careful. Now, despite being an operating public accountant, Bill grinded the ref game. He ref high school, small colleges, CFL, AFL, D1 colleges, everything. Bill knew what he wanted and he was determined to get it. In 2001, he became a side judge as a part of Dig Handtag and Swole Up Dole Up Ed Hockley. I know y'all probably remember that dude. In just a few short years, Bill's hard work had paid off. He fulfilled his destiny and was promoted to head referee. Now, not all NFL refs are actually full-time employees. Each year that number is going up, but of course when Bill became a ref, like none of them were. So Bill also refed college basketball games. As a matter of fact, he still refs college basketball games. He actually recently got heckled for this missed call. Bill stepped away from refing for a few years back in 2007 when he was diagnosed with a heart condition. Apparently, Bill took that time to focus on his health, and by 2012, he was good to go and back reffing in the NFL. 3 years later, in 2015, Bill was reffing his first ever Super Bowl. Bill's refereeing career was spectacular. It was spotless. I mean, Bill was a ref's ref, but this one missed call could change all of that. Possibly the worst missed call in NFL history, and it happened on Bill's watch. Now, Bill didn't make the call, and we're gonna talk about the guy who did in just a second, but Bill is the head referee. Ultimately, he's responsible for the guys on his crew. He wears the white hat. He's the crew chief. He has the final authority on all decisions. And here's the thing that really rubbed me the wrong way about Bill. Now, again, he's not the guy who made the call. I kind of felt bad, and then as I'm reading through the transcripts and everything, I realized, Bill didn't even apologize after the game. When he was interviewed about it, he said that he hadn't even seen the play. Again, Bill is the one who was interviewed because he is the head referee, so he speaks for the group. Real quick, I want to give you guys an example of how a referee should handle this situation. There's a guy named Jim Joyce. Some of you baseball guys out there may be familiar with him. He was one of the best umpires in Major League Baseball for years prior to his retirement in 2017. Back in the day, ESPN the magazine literally held a poll and the players voted that he was the best umpire. But back in 2010, he had one of these Bill Vinovich moments. He missed a call at first base. The runner should have been called out, but Bill called him safe. It was an incredibly close call and he missed it. Here's why it was a huge deal. The pitcher, Armando Galarraga, was pitching a perfect game up to that point. Now listen, there have only been about 23 official perfect games ever pitched in Major League Baseball. At that time, back in 2010, there had only been 20 perfect games ever. This would have been the 21st perfect game ever pitched. And realistically, this man pitched a perfect game, but not officially. And it was all due to a missed call by Jim Joyce. Human error. He couldn't change it, but he didn't run and hide. He met with the media to apologize for what had happened.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Replay after replay showed the runner was out.
Oh my goodness, Jim Joyce. No.
I missed it. This isn't a call. This is a history call. And I kicked the shit out of it. And there's nobody that feels worse than I do. I take pride in this job, and I kicked the shit out of that, and I took a perfect game away from that kid over there that worked his off all night.
Costing the pitcher his perfect game.
I give you a lot of credit to that guy telling me, hey, I need to talk to you because I really say I'm sorry. And he apologized and he feel really bad. His eyes are water and he don't have to say.
Jim Joyce even went to the Tiger clubhouse to apologize to Galarraga for ruining his perfect game. He took accountability. And the next day when the umpires came out before the game, those same fans that he missed that call in front of gave him a standing ovation. A standing ovation. They understood he was human, but they could at least appreciate the fact that he stood up and said that he made a mistake. Now Bill Vinovich, he didn't even bother to look at the play and refuses to even speak about it. I just think that's weak. Bill instead ran from this and didn't even take it seriously enough to watch the replay before his interview. That's crazy. Now, like we talked about a little earlier, Bill is a California guy. So when he refs a game played by the LA Rams, you think, yo, the Rams might have a little bit of an advantage. Not even close. Check this out, man. Before the game, when Rams fans found out that Bill and his crew were going to be reffing the NFC Championship game, the Rams fans themselves started a petition to have Bill and his crew removed from the game. Apparently, before the NFC Championship game, the Rams were 0-8 in games reffed by Bill and his squad. That includes 2 L's this season that was reffed by Bill and the crew. That's insane. So despite the fact that Bill is a California guy, anytime he refs this LA team, they lose. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So the Rams fans and probably the coaches, they hate this dude. Or hate it. That's all changed now. It's so ironic that they wanted him out, tried to get him out, and then his crew misses this crucial call and it helps send the Rams to the Super Bowl. Now we're gonna circle back to this, but first we gotta talk about this guy, Phil McKinley. Now Phil McKinley got slandered all over social media. See, Phil is a core member of Bill's officiating crew. He's been accused of missing this call on purpose in order to help out the team that he used to play for. Yes, Phil McKinley did play 1 year for the Rams back in 1981. And this conspiracy theory was a great one. Oh man, this was a good one. One problem, Phil McKinley did not ref this game. He was replaced. According to reports, he wasn't even in the building. Like literally, I was closer to the play than Phil was. This is not Phil McKinley. So stop slandering this man on social media. This is none other than Patrick Turner, the other black dude. Come on, dog. Patrick actually had a Sports Illustrated piece written on him back in 2014 when he hogged down Darren Sproles on a long touchdown run. Now, I did a video on the world's fastest ref a while back, and that green screen was not it. Ugh, trash. That dude's name was Steve Pollard, and I don't know, Pat might be able to give him a run for his money. Anyway, LA ties though. LA ties? Dude's been reffing Pac-12 games for like over a decade, and Patrick currently resides in Lakewood, California. So even though they don't have an ex-Rams player officiating on their crew, they still had the back judge, the side judge, the head ref, and maybe even more guys be based in California. Imagine being pretty much an LA-based officiating crew, but every time you officiate the LA team, they lose. Remember, the Rams are 0-8 when Bill and his squad referees their game. A team who only lost 3 games the entire season. 2 of those L's came when Bill's crew was reffing their games. Imagine being that ref at home in the local restaurants and in different places like that. Just imagine. A lot of people probably don't know who you are, but those who do and those who recognize you, I mean, it would just be uncomfortable being that guy, especially at the point where there's a couple minutes left in the game. This game will send the Rams to the Super Bowl, and you really wasn't feeling the pressure all game, but now it's setting in. You don't want to be the guy. You don't want to be the guy to throw the flag that pretty much ends the Rams' season. They fall to 0-9 on your watch. No Super Bowl. You think about reaching for your flag, you hesitate. You look at your boy, he ain't saying nothing. So you say, bang, 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 bang. And that's how it happens. Bill's crew will never live this down. As a matter of fact, I'm sure this crew will never exist in the same form again. Some of these guys are likely gonna be fired. The NFL is embarrassed, and it all just feels so tainted after what was a great season. I feel bad for the Rams and the Rams fans, because who wants to go to a Super Bowl when half of the country is looking at your Super Bowl like, yo, there's an asterisk next to that. You don't deserve to be there. Like, you don't want to be in that position. Hey, if it was me, I'd still wear Marine. All right, fine. But you can't tell me it would not hurt you that your Super Bowl isn't weighted the same way as everybody else due to something that you really couldn't control. Obviously, I feel bad for the Saints fans. I mean, the Vikings thing last year and now this. It's just, a lot of fans feel cheated. They feel like they're not watching the best 2 teams. We missed out on Breeze versus Brady in the Super Bowl, bro. Drew might not get back there, man. Then the timing is terrible. You got other leagues popping up literally next month. And it's all due to the harsh reality that Bill, Patrick, and their crew folded under the pressure, and that's why this obvious pass interference wasn't called. Also, Adam Schefter tweeted this just as I was finishing this video. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get her.